Ex-Man United boss Erik Ten Hag rejects new job after humiliating Bayer Leverkusen sacking. Man United news: Ruben Amorim's decision to axe coach and squad's opinion of him changing. Ruben Amorim's image at Old Trafford is enjoying an upward trajectory at present. But one of the tactician's decisions exactly 1 year ago drew the ire of a Manchester United legend. Ajax are looking for a new manager, and former boss Erik Ten Hag was in the running, having been sacked by Bayer Leverkusen after just 3 games earlier this season. Former Manchester United boss Erik Ten Hag has rejected the chance to return for a second spell as Ajax manager. The Dutch Giants sacked Johnny Heitinga last week after overseeing a disastrous run of just 2 wins in 11 games. Ajax are in crisis mode and sit 4th in the Eredivisie, already 11 points behind league leaders and bitter rivals PSV Eindhoven. They're also rock bottom of the 36-team Champions League table after losing their opening 4 matches and only scoring 1 goal. Ten Hag, 55, is out of work and quickly emerged as the favourite after being spotted with his agent, Alex Kroos, and Ajax's technical director, Alex Kroos. The Dutchman spent 4.5 years in Amsterdam, winning the title in each of his 3 full seasons, but according to Dutch outlet Numbers, Ten Hag has decided against returning to Ajax. It's claimed that the 55-year-old, who was also linked with Premier League side Wolves, thought the conditions were not right for a successful partnership. Mark Overmars also won't be returning, having been the club's technical director when Ten Hag led Ajax to famous victories over Real Madrid and Juventus, the high point of his tenure. "For me, it's over," the ex-Arsenal forward told The Telegraph this week. United came calling for Ten Hag in the summer of 2022, and he won 2 trophies with the Red Devils before being dismissed last October. Ten Hag then bided his time, waiting until the beginning of this season to get back into management. The 55-year-old replaced Xabi Alonso at Bayer Leverkusen. But after failing to win any of his first 3 games, losing key players in the summer transfer window, and with multiple reports of behind-the-scenes discontent, he was ruthlessly sacked in September. Ten Hag criticized Leverkusen's decision, issuing a statement which read, "The decision by Bayer Leverkusen this morning to put me on a leave of absence came as a complete surprise. To part ways with a manager after just 2 league matches is unprecedented." This summer, many key players who were part of past successes left the squad. Building a new, cohesive team is a careful process that requires both time and trust. A new coach deserves the space to implement his vision, set the standards, shape the squad, and leave his mark on the style of play. "I started this job with full conviction and energy, but unfortunately the management was not willing to grant me the time and trust one needed, which I deeply regret. I feel this was never a relationship based on mutual trust. Throughout my career, every season I have been able to see through to the end as a coach has brought success. Clubs that placed their trust in me have been rewarded with success and silverware." Man United news: Ruben Amorim's decision to axe coach and squad's opinion of him changing. Ruben Amorim's image at Old Trafford is enjoying an upward trajectory at present. But one of the tactician's decisions exactly 1 year ago drew the ire of a Manchester United legend. Things are on the up at Manchester United as Ruben Amorim's stock enjoys a resurgence entering the international break. However, the fact remains that not all the manager's decisions at Old Trafford have gone down a treat. That much became clear after one Red Devils icon critiqued Amorim's decision not to rehire one of his former teammates. And it's not only past United players whose impression of the coach is changing. Those in the current United dressing room have reportedly altered their stance on Amorim following one fiery reaction. Mirror Football breaks down all that and more in the latest United headlines. Amorim axe decision upset Rio Ferdinand didn't shy away from questioning Amorim's call to not employ former teammate Ruud van Nistelrooy following his arrival at Old Trafford. And as fans look back upon the manager's first year in charge at the Theatre of Dreams, some may wonder if things would have shaped up any differently with the Dutchman on board. Van Nistelrooy previously made a positive impact on the squad as part of Erik Ten Hag's backroom staff, then briefly led the team as interim manager following his countryman's dismissal. Amorim opted not to keep Van Nistelrooy on as he wanted to bring in his own staff, something that irked United great Ferdinand. The players needed that. "We're in a time where there was a lot of turbulence. The managers, Ten Hag's, relationships with some players seemed fractured and irreversible, and the fans seemed to have made their minds up that that was it. And the new manager comes in, and you always get that bounce. But this seemed a bit different from a bounce. The players had grown to really like him. They appreciated how he informed them of different bits and pieces, tactically, individually, as a team, and there was a genuine we want to do well for this guy. For the most part, Amorim comes across as a composed character who is rarely flustered in front of the cameras. But that serenity has its limits, it seems, and the players found out just how furious their boss can get following a 3-1 loss at home to the Seagulls. But rather than recoil, it was reported that a number of United stars looked favorably upon the reaction. It emerged the outburst left many with a better impression of just how much Amorim cared about the club's results, even if his body language didn't always communicate it. Ferdinand calls United ace a joke. On the back of being named the Premier League's Player of the Month for October, it's evident Bryan Mbeumo is loving life in Manchester. And suffice to say, Ferdinand is loving what is seen of the Cameroon international. With 4 goals in his last 4 games for United, there are few at Old Trafford who can rival the winger's current run of form. And Ferdinand was gushing in his praise of the attacker after he has helped pull United through their recent run of positive results.